Here we are at Yester House, the Southern Vermont Arts Center.
Hi. So the title of my show is called Always Open, and to me, I was searching for a title for this series of work. Always Open is a lot about staying open for the message of the unseen forces, and it's also a fair amount about me gauging and listening to what is happening on the inside of my body and in my life, and then listening to what is happening on the outside. And so sometimes they converge, and I have what is like a synchronistic experience. So one of the things about my process that I really like to do is I like to ask the subject matter I'm working with and the paintings what they need. So I do a lot of waiting and watching, and I come up with an idea, and then I'll make a preliminary drawing, and then it'll be really obvious what to do. And so I like mark making. I like a lot of symbolism in our culture, like cars, bats, trees, houses, birds. I don't like doing anything figurative at all. I like storms and atmosphere and a lot of uh, play with 2D design so that you can see that there's an undefinable space around just about everything that I paint, even though there's some heavy X's with mark making. So I like mark making. I like a lot of X's and zeros and hearts and little doodle drawings like teenage girls like to do in the margins of their homework. And I really like Black India ink. And there's something very definite about it, and there's something very risky about it. So I really, it gives me some type of feeling of safety and like there's a definite answer in the world. I don't like using a lot of color. I feel like it can be too brash or irresponsible. So I use gesso and Black India ink and pencil and lots of grays, an occasional splash of color. Yeah, so I really like doodling in the margins, like a teenage girl, almost from an unconscious perspective, to kind of stay in touch with and get in touch with and sort of use the subconscious or the unconscious mind. And so through that process, when I listen to what is happening on the inside of me, and I also listen and notice and observe what is happening on the outside, sometimes there is a deep synchronicity that happens where what I'm experiencing sort of subconsciously also matches up on the outside world. And so I look for that in my work. I look for that in the world. And that to me is meaningful. So I'm heavily influenced by people like Tim Burton, Edward Gorey. I recently found out about Charles Birchfield, people like that. My paintings are very illustrationy, and I think it's, I don't know why that is, but I do call them paintings.
I am greatly influenced by rap music and
Pop culture, TV, and music and film. So I like to use just references and elements of anything that comes through our culture.
my mentor was Dennis Bing. He was a first generation abstract expressionist artist and taught at the State University of New York at Albany. And he really grabbed me under his wing and he said, you know, do you really need to paint a house? Do you really need to paint an interior environment? Do you need to paint a tree? And my answer always was, well, yes, but I really like deteriorated or depreciated structures so that there's something vague and undefined in the structure, or you can't really make it out. You can't do a measurement. The wood is rotted. And so through the lens of, you know, focusing on the unconscious mind and where that connects with the exterior world, the world that we all experience in the media or whatever, that is the funnel that I use to express this particular form of painting, which is very sort of dreamy and atmospheric. So in this painting, it's called Party for Dead People. I had a dream that, first of all, in light of the COVID era we're in, so many people have died in my life, not just from COVID, but other things, suicide and cancer, and then being shut in, and, you know, a desire to not continue on. And I was so overwhelmed that I had this dream that all of these ghosts were dancing above a fire at a party. And I was like, how am I going to put this into words? And so what I came up with first is these ghosts, sort of very Casper-like, dancing. They were laughing at us earthbound humans. I am greatly influenced by Scooby-Doo and Batman and Spy versus Spy and Highlights magazine. I also like going out at night, and I still do this. It's something I've been doing since I was really young, like 10 years old. I would go out and look in to people's windows. You know, not like a stalker, but just kind of notice the light and the activity from outside, you know, when the world is dark, kind of like a mystery to uncover the mystery of what's happening in people's lives. So what am I looking for at night is how the light plays off of everything, how the light is a pattern that comes through. This painting had a lot of urgency. It was really on my mind for a very long time, and the fact that the car wash is on fire just tells us that, I think. And then there's bats and all kinds of spooky Halloween things. I guess I like to paint things that scare me or scare people. And, you know, part of my journey as an artist who paints portraits of hot rods is to drive home the point that fossil fuels are bad. This is the 5th American Garbage installation piece. It's called Black à l'intérieur, Polling Place, with a video on the inside called Be Brave, Freedom Fighter. And it is a lot about the end of white supremacy and the direction that the white people need to go, which is to embrace Black culture or Black American point of view from the inside so that we can heal. And so this is kind of a self-portrait. Black Lives Matter is very important to me. It's also about, obviously, the environment and how it affects our dwelling places. There's no roof on this treehouse, and the plastic is here to stay. We need to dress up the garbage so that we can move forward, and the problem of recycling is not going to be fixed overnight. So the House of ChoCLeT is my extra name that I go by, my graffiti name, my rapper name, and ChoCLeT is actually a stripper name. When I first moved to New York City, I called myself ChoCLeT, and then it wasn't very far to go between calling my clothing label, my silkscreen label, House of ChoCLeT. And I silkscreen on paper and gently upcycled clothing and ball gowns and jackets. And I thought at first, oh, I'm gonna like make a lot of money doing House of ChoCLeT. And the opposite was true. It ended up just being like community service, just silkscreening a lot of things. Look for House of ChoCLeT. The things that I silkscreen don't hit the landfill that quickly because I am an environmentalist deep down.